I just wanted to make this video to share with you guys some of my favorite decks to use for dream interpretation. This is obviously highly personal, and all I can really share about are the decks that I have, but I just really wanted to go over this because I do find that sometimes when you are interpreting your dreams with just like a regular, like a Rider-Waite-based deck, like the ones that I've been using here, these can be great. And these are, just for me, they're sort of the classic tarot deck. It's the one that I mostly go to for things, but I do find that when I am kind of wanting to work with inner world stuff, it can be helpful to work with a deck that is sort of dreamy or that has a kind of spiritual energy to it or has a specialness to it. So I do like to separate certain decks for personal use, and it can be really helpful. So if you have a hard time interpreting your dreams using tarot cards, you might think about buying like a fantastical deck or like a fantasy deck, and then seeing if you just use that one only for your dream interpretations, if that helps you in the long term. So the first one that I want to mention is the Shadowscapes Tarot by Stephanie Puimanlaw. So I love this deck so much, and it's been one that I just feel like it's so dreamy. It's so perfect for dream interpretation. I mean, look at these. They're just so gorgeous. I didn't purchase the copyright. I only have permission to use the Rider-Waite cards from US Games. So I have that permission. So I'm not going to be doing any teaching on these cards, but I will just recommend them to you and show you a few of the cards so that you can see how gorgeous they are. So yeah, this is just a really beautiful deck for dream interpretation. It's so dreamy. Yeah. So Shadowscapes Tarot is my first choice and the one that I use the most for dream interpretation. I also have the Osho Zen Tarot, which is really great because there's keywords on the bottom of the cards, which I find to be really helpful. And there's something really mystical about this deck. There's something very spiritually alive about this deck. So those of you who have worked with it, you probably know exactly what I mean. There's just something kind of alive about it. The cards have this way of just the perfect one coming up when you use it. So this can be a really great one, especially if you're interested in kind of Zen imagery or just this kind of artwork is so beautiful. So Osho Zen Tarot, I don't know why they call this a tarot deck. I feel like it's more of an oracle. It's very loosely based in tarot, in my opinion. But it is very, very beautiful. And the images really communicate what it means too. So the Osho Zen Tarot is a great one for dream interpretation, in my opinion. There's also the Druid Craft, which I really like this one because I love the back too, just simple. It's really pretty. This is the box. And I really like it because I have Irish kind of roots and ancestry. And so for me, I just find this deck to be really interesting because of the Druid symbolism and imagery, and it's kind of easy to read. It's nice, really big cards, and they just have a really powerful way of speaking. So this could be a great one for dream interpretation. And another one that I know that some of you guys are interested in, because I've had some questions about it, is the Thoth deck. So This is by Aleister Crowley, and it's just an amazing deck, but it is kind of hard to get into, I have to say. When I first got myself a Thoth deck, I felt kind of intimidated, honestly, by the imagery and the fact that it, a lot of the symbolism wasn't totally, it's not as clear as the Rider-Waite. With the Rider-Waite, you can kind of tell what's going on to the person in the image. This is more busy. In my opinion, it's better artwork, I think, but it's just more detail. It's a different style, totally different style. So I guess you can't really compare them, but it's just more like artsy, I feel. And there's something really, really gorgeous about this deck. So I have used this for dream interpretation. I also use it more often now for past life readings, because it just has this way of kind of putting you in a different state as you contemplate the images. So I just find that this is a really great one for dream interpretation if you're drawn to it. If you're not drawn to it, then you're better off with a different deck. But I feel that this can be a really nice one. Look at that star card. So gorgeous. So there's the Thoth deck by Aleister Crowley, and with this one, I typically use, I usually only do 3 to 5 card readings with this deck. I don't know why, but I never think to do a 10 card spread with it for some reason, or just a longer spread. I always find that with this deck, maybe it's because the cards are so big, but I just find that the best messages for me come through with this deck when I'm keeping it simple. And so it would work really well for example, the dream interpretation spread in the other video, which is 5 cards. And then also if you wanted to pull a card for a symbol in your dream, you could just pull one of these, and that would give you kind of a sense of the energy. And also, you can use this deck really symbolically, so you can ignore the keyword and just kind of go with whatever the image tells you, because the images can tell you a lot in this deck. Okay, guys, well, I hope that this has been fun for you to watch. Just a little kind of expression of which decks I like to use for dream interpretation. I do use the Rider-Waite very often as well for dream interpretation, but I don't think I've shown you guys these decks, and these are ones that I have used and that I continue to use for dream interpretation as needed. So I just thought it'd be fun to share that with you. Please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I would love to hear from you either in the Facebook group or directly via email. And I'm just wishing you an amazing rest of your week. Thank you guys so much for taking the course. I hope that you're enjoying it and finding something useful. Bye, guys.